What's going on, everybody? Stanley Parrish here. Welcome back to the show. I hope you're having a creative day today. I'm back today with another quick tutorial. I have this photo right here that was sent in to me, and the problem with this photo is, or the question is, how do I remove shadows from my backdrop? So I'm going to go ahead and explain how I would do this. Of course, in Photoshop, there's a million different ways to do things, but this is just one way. And I'm going to also include my Photoshop action that I use for stuff like this. Make sure you download it. It's free. Let me know how it works for you. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so the first thing I would do is make a copy of this layer. I'm going to hit Control J. Okay, I have my copy. Now I want to put that layer in its own group. So I'm going to hit Control G. And I'm just going to rename this group to Edit. Okay. And I'm going to make another copy of this layer. And I'm going to hide it. And I'm going to go back to the first layer. I'm going to rename that to Backdrop. And I just renamed this one to Subject. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is we're going to make a selection around the subject here and around the shadow area. So you just want to drag. I got my lasso tool and I'm just going to drag around him just like this. Okay, now we're going to do a ContentAware Field. I'm going to go to Edit, Field. We're going to fill this selection. You want to choose Content Aware. Make sure the blending mode is set to normal, opacity 100. Hit OK. And now we're going to let Photoshop fill in that area. All right, there we go. Photoshop did a decent job of filling in that area with the backdrop. Okay, I'm going to hit Control D to get rid of that selection. Okay, and right now I'm going to grab my patch tool just to clean it up just a little bit. I'm going to take this area where you can see the wrinkles down here. I'm going to take that and just select this area, and I'm going to patch it. I'm going to clone this area off to the side, to the right side. So we're going to bring this over here and patch it up just like that. All right, so on this part, you need to make sure you download the action for this to work, because I'm going to run that action now. The name of it is Backdrop Smooth. Backdrop Smooth, and I have it right here in my actions. You can see here, it's called Backdrop Smooth 1. So I'm going to click that and let Photoshop just do its thing here. Okay, so if the backdrop is too smooth, you can go in and add some noise to it, just to give it a little bit of texture. I'm going to click my layer, my backdrop layer. I'm going to go to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And I'm going to choose 2% just to give it a little bit of grain. Zoom back out. And we're going to bring the subject layer back. And on this part, you're going to take your quick selection tool. And we're just going to select him to isolate him from that background. So you're just going to drag. Okay, so we have the selection. I'm going to go to Select and Mask right here at the top. I'm just going to bring up this Properties panel over here to the right side. And I had the smooth under Global Refinements. I have the smooth set to 8. I have the feather at 0.2. The contrast is at 14%, and the shift edge is at -9%. I'm going to leave it just like that because I don't see anything wrong with it. So I'm going to hit make sure under the output settings, you have your output 2, have that set to new layer with layer mask. And you can check remember settings, that's optional. if you want to do that. So I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to place that layer, or it's going to make a new layer with a new layer mask that we just created. Okay, so to bring back some of those shadows, I'm going to bring the first subject layer back. I'm going to create a layer mask. I'm going to fill it with black. And I'm just going to paint with white in the areas where I want to see some of those shadows come back. See, maybe change the opacity to 20%. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Go back down to 15%. Okay, and I'm just gonna paint around the shoes just to bring back some of the shadows. Maybe I bring the opacity to 25%. We're just gonna paint around the edges just to bring some of the shadows back. Be careful not to overdo it. We just want to see a little bit of the shadows, just so the floor is not looking, too smooth. We want to see some of the shadows on the floor. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. And there we go, people. That's one way that you can remove the shadows from your backdrops using Adobe Photoshop. If you like this tutorial, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with all your friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one.